My name is RRK. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be taking you through my TBR list. That is my February to be read books. As always, I'm not going for a rigid set in stone plan for my reading this month. If last year has taught us something, it is to loosen up a bit. Not take life too seriously, to smell the roses on the way and that kind of thing. In short, I don't want to regiment my reading. So as far as TBRs go, I do kind of have a plan, but keep in mind that this could change and will change as the month and my reading progresses. By the way, just wanted to let you guys know that I have given the timestamps for this video in the description box below, so feel free to browse through the sections that sounds more appealing to you. With that tidbit out of the way, let's take a look at my February TBR, shall we? As with January and probably this whole year, I'm focusing on completing the challenges that I have created for myself. Hence, naturally, I have a few books meant to tick some boxes off those challenges. The first one is the Priority Series Quarterly Challenge. As you guys know, I have set up a quarterly challenge for myself. Every single quarter this year, I will be completing one trilogy. So that is 4 trilogies by end of this year. The second one is 21 Books in 2021 Challenge. As the name suggests, I have chosen 21 top priority books that I absolutely want to get to by end of this year. The third one is Buzzwordathon. In my January wrap-up video, which you can find in the card above, I have mentioned the Buzzwordathon, which is a readathon run by Kayla from Booksandlala. I have linked her announcement video in the description box below if you would like to check. I'll be participating in this year-long readathon too. So this February, I'm also participating in the Buddy Reads hosted by Elliot and Jessie, 2 of my favorite booktubers. I have given links to their announcement videos in the description box below. Do join them if you too would like to participate in the Buddy Read. This is also an year-long event where they choose one book to read every single month of the year. I'm doing this only if the book of that month interests me. As it is, I'm only low-key participating. That is, I'm not logging into the Byzance app for discussions or anything like that. I'm just reading in my tiny corner of the world, content in the knowledge that many people around the world are doing the same. And that kind of gives me a strange sense of belonging that I simply cannot explain. Now moving on to the books that I'm including in my TBR this February. As part of my Priority Series Quarterly Challenge, this quarter I'm planning to finish the Winnowing Flame Trilogy by Jen Williams. I completed the 9th reign, so this month I'll be reading the second book, The Bitter Twins. I'm quite excited to see how the second book fares. Apparently the usual characters, Tor, Noon, Vintage, are all a major part of the Bitter Twins, with the added bonus of the War Beasts, of whom we saw very little in the first book. I'm itching to learn more about the War Beasts and the Euralia themselves. Hope I get that and more from the second installment of the Winnowing Flame Trilogy. After that, as part of my 21 Books in 2021 challenge, I want to read 2 books. First one is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This one, as you guys know, is a rollover from my January TBR. So obviously this month it's my top priority to complete it. I'm not sure how much I will like Grimdark as I haven't read any, but I know I like Joe's writing style, though I have read only one of his young adult books, King. But this series, the First Law trilogy, is one that everybody who's anybody in the Grimdark world raves about. So I'm very eager to be part of that world, or at least see if it works for me. The second book is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I had included this book in my January wrap-up as I had been reading it while I recorded my video, and I was confident that I would complete it by Jan end. But I only could complete it by February 3rd, so even though I finished this book, technically this will be one of my February books. I'll be reviewing The Well of Ascension either in a separate video or in my February wrap-up, let's see. Next is the book for the Buzzwordathon. I have given the Goodreads Buzzwordathon group link in the description box below, so if you would like to join the group and buddy read with us, you may do so. This month's buzzword is color. Actually, you can interpret the buzzword color as you wish. For example, you can choose a book with a cover of the color of your choice, or it could have any names of color in the title. Or you can get even more creative. Maybe read multiple books, forming the rainbow colors. Improvise, play around. After all, reading should be fun, isn't it? I'm going for a safe bet. I'm choosing a book with a color name in its title. A Spark of White Fire by Sangu Mandana. This is supposed to be a fantasy fiction inspired by Mahabharata. As you might know by now about me, I am on board with anything related to our itihasas, as long as it's done tastefully and not caricature. Fingers crossed on this one. For Elliot Brooks and Jessie May's buddy read, they have chosen Legend Born by Tracy Dion for the month of February. Legend Born sounds very interesting. Plus, I'm yet to hear a single bad review for this one. I don't know much about this book except that it's a YA fantasy and that it's very fast-paced and action-packed. I've also heard that this is a book that will even appeal a typically adult or epic fantasy reader, that is, those who generally shy away from YA fantasy. Though this is the first book in the series, I'm not sure if this is going to be a duology or trilogy because we just have to wait and watch. As I did in January, I want to read a few arcs and be done with my backlog. So the first one I want to finish is The Paris Library, which is a World War II historical fiction story by Janet Charles. Looks like it's also an intergenerational story. The protagonist is a librarian and apparently she is part of the resistance and she does that with the help of books. That premise is enough to pull me in. This book is supposed to be released on February 9th, so I'm hoping to get my review out by then. Obviously, it's a long shot, but no harm in trying, right? Anyway, the second arc that I want to read is The Shadow in the Glass by J.J.A. Harwood. This book is supposed to come out in March this year, yet another YA fantasy, but with a fairy tale kind of a setup. This is marketed as a Cinderella retelling with a dark twist. Can't wait to check this out. Now, as you know, I always give some space for my intense mood reading self. I must confess that I have already started a few books as I was in a different mood every time I picked one of these. Will I complete them? No idea. But will I put it out into the universe to hold myself accountable? You bet I will. Now the first book is actually one that I have already completed. You may ask why on earth do I have it in my TBR then? That's because this is February and I did start and complete it in February. It's a different issue that it was so phenomenal that I completed it even as I was planning my TBR for this month. The book is Golden Boy by Abigail Tetterling. I'll give a detailed review of this soon in a different video, but this book was too good. A story of a 16-year-old with a deep secret and a golden heart. Golden Boy is one of those books that leaves you wondering, where on earth were you till now? Why didn't I read this sooner? I'm also listening to the audiobook of The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, the first book from the Bridgerton series. For obvious reasons, of course. Everybody and their mother is talking about the Netflix adaptation of the Bridgerton series. And knowing myself, I'll not be able to read a book once I watch its adaptation. I'm looking at you, Witcher series. So, I want to at least complete the first book before I can watch the series. If I like the book, that is. Then I also started reading Flowers on Her Grave by Jennifer Chase. I was in a mood for a thriller and this arc has been languishing in my Kindle for quite some time now. So I chose this. This looks like a short enough book. It's a murder mystery and a detective thriller. Let's see how I like it. If I finish, that is. While I'm mildly confident about and keen on completing my challenge reads, I don't want to be too strict with the completion of my mood read books, as I want to allow myself some flexibility. I'm a huge fan of DNFing, that is, keeping aside the books that don't speak to me. I can't be bothered with wasting time on books that I might not like. I would rather give a chance to the books that I'm attracted to. So that's my reading plan for February, guys. How do you think I will fare? Are you planning on reading any of the books that I have mentioned? Or have you read any of them already? What are your thoughts on them? Do let me know in the comment section. I'll be posting a video every single week. If you'd like to see more bookish content from me, then please don't forget to like my videos, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. Looking forward to sharing more of my bookish thoughts with you. Let's keep the bookish conversation going. Until next time, stay safe and healthy. Om Shanti.